Hi, hello, and welcome. I'm definitely not Jason, and you're watching me pug my way to 3K rating on a Blood DK in Dragonflight Season 4. I'm recording this on Wednesday, which is reset day for us EU folk, so I have a vault to open and a bullion to spend, or rather, well, a second bullion to earn and then spend, so I have to actually earn that bullion. But I think I have my decision made for me as to what I'm going to actually get. It's probably going to be Ashkandur, because, I don't know, I don't think I'll be getting Feraleth, so I may as well get the other Abyss weapon, and that would be that. Since I still have an adventure weapon, so I could really use the upgrade, but I don't think I'll be getting that in this episode. I think I'll be doing that in another one. I don't have time to really do not even LFR. Actually, I think normal might be faster than LFR, but yeah, that'll have to be in another episode where I get the bullion and then buy Ashkandur. For now, I think I'm just going to go ahead and do a couple of dungeons, but let me bring you up to speed first. So I streamed last night, and we went and did a bunch of dungeons to round out the week. Got ourselves to 1,316 rating. We did Nelthoris, Ruby Life Pools, Uldaman, and I think I upgraded my Azure Vault. Yeah, my Azure Vault was a +2, now it's a +4. Quite happy about that. That'll put us in a good spot for this week. I think we can actually reach 2K pretty comfortably here. That'll get us a hero tier piece. That'll be the first tier piece that we have. I think we also have 2 catalyst charges that we can use now, so I think I'm going to go ahead and catalyze my champion pieces just to get something. I have the chest piece and the legs that are champion tier, and I feel like that's good enough to upgrade, so I'm gonna go do that right away. Actually, no, I'm not. I'm going to first go open up my vault and see what we get in the vault, and then maybe I should make my gearing decisions. I might not even take anything from the vault. I might just sit on it until I do the raid so I can see what I get from the raid, and then we'll decide what we get. Oh, there's a seal of filial duty. However, I don't actually do whatchamacallit, fire damage. I don't think a single one of my things does fire damage, so I have no way to really trigger this. That is a little bit annoying. I mean, the ring would be good for single target. I don't know. We have a veteran tier piece of gear here, but I'm not particularly fond of getting veteran. I don't know. I think I might just have to hold on to this and decide later. There's a hero helmet that would be an upgrade for explorer. That sounds like actually a really good idea. And there's a hero trinket, but it's on use much like the other trinket I have now. I think the hero helmet might be the best bet because I don't think I have a way of really triggering this seal of filial duty. The mastery is nice, but I really don't know. Actually, I think my helmet enchant from Emergisil does fire damage, so maybe I can use Seal of Filial Duty, but it's only champion tier. I don't know, man. Decisions are hard. I think this is just a bigger upgrade overall. I think I'm gonna go for the helmet. Yeah, we're gonna grab the helmet right off the bat. Should I just do the raid and then see what I get? Screw it. We're gonna grab the helmet. It has a socket. No, it doesn't have a socket. Whatever. I was gonna say it has a socket, so it's nice, but it doesn't have a socket. It was something else that had a socket. So we have the helmet, which is a huge upgrade. 1.8k stamina. Are you kidding me? That's crazy. And we have a Ruby Life Pools 4. We'll have to go do that then. I guess the highest key I did do was a 4. There's weekly stuff to do, like over here I could get a champion piss? What? A champion piece. Jesus, Vlad. I have to do Zaralik Caverns. So researchers under fire, loot a secured shipment. I think that's a Farak Assault. And then complete a time rift. I got to do those to get my champion piece from the weekly. I don't think I'll do that today again because honestly, I just don't have the time. It's already 6 p.m. and I need to edit this video. So what I'm going to do instead, actually, I'll do one dungeon this video, but I'm going to go do the other weekly quest stuff instead. So I think I'll do an LFR for the bullion. We'll gear up a little bit from all the weekly quest stuff. And then we will do a dungeon to get the week started. Because otherwise I'm going to be way behind on doing my obligations on the DK to gear it up. I always found these time rift events pretty fun. It's kind of a lot of running around and whatnot, but it's not too bad. It's not difficult or anything. Oh, these mobs just fall over, don't they? Okay, well then maybe I shouldn't have been trying to make such a big death ball when they just die instantly. Oh yeah, 117k, that's like nothing. People two-shot that kind of HP. Cool, that means we might get a bunch of temporal essence. Although I took a look at the vendors, there's really nothing worth getting. So I'm gonna be that guy and I'm just gonna stand up here and wait for the event to finish. I'm sorry. Kind of dead weight, but also I can't be bothered doing this right now. Well, surprised by the group, there's so many people doing this that we actually got all 3 of the chests. I opened all of them up. I got the encapsulated destiny, but I already have one active from before, so I couldn't use it. So that means I'm going to get something from this, but I think the most you can get is adventurer gear. And the trinkets, I think, when they drop, they are, whatchamacallit. Oh boy, this is, oh bueno, need to keep moving. I think the trinkets are explorer gear even, so. Jesus, we absolutely obliterated this thing. Oh yeah, I got Gildan. cool. And I got the Eon canister thing, but the Eon canister, like I said, you can only buy adventure gear with it, so it's not particularly amazing. Okay, geez, this thing just keeps spreading. What the heck? Anyway, ooh, there's a quest item here. Get me a few extra whatever the heck's. And then maybe I can use that to buy some of the mounts or something. That could be cool. Turn in both of these quests real quick. Open this thing up for a bunch of... Oh, this gives veteran gear now. A veteran weapon, in fact. 4 out of 8 veteran weapons. So that's a nice little 13 item level increase. Okay. I forgot that this stuff is going to give me veteran gear, so I should have thought of that before making such a hasty decision to get Ashkandur. Although I think Ashkandur is still going to be a better decision to get than the suffused halberd. But I'll equip it for now. Can I get a mount? I'm just a little bit short of a mount. I think mounts are 3k. Yeah, so I'll have to come back to this and do a bit more before I can get the mount, but no big deal. Now the next thing I think I want to do is probably a Parak Assault, but I don't even see one active at the moment. Oh no, never mind, there's one in Azure Span, so we're gonna go over there and see what we can do. Oh, this is absolutely perfect. Frax Fury just finished up, so I can actually kill the boss as well. Maybe I can get a piece of gear from that. I do still have Adventurer Shoulders, so I'd like to replace that if possible. Everything else right now is veteran or champion, with a couple of hero pieces too. I have a hero cloak and a hero helmet that I took from the vault. So yeah, good stuff. Here comes Shadis-Athal. Hi Shadis-Athal, how are you doing today? It seems there are other tanks here vying for Shadis-Athal's attention, so I probably won't be getting much of it. I'm dropping big deeps on it. Probably have better gear than I do, so I can't really compete. Or they taunted. I don't want to taunt, don't have a reason to. I really should have used Def's Advance to not get knocked back there, but oh well, no biggie. And the boss is dead. That was extremely fast. There's so many people doing this. It's like Wednesday, so everyone's trying to get their weekly stuff done. I got an explorer piece from him, but I also got a burning key, which is wonderful. There's probably going to be a bunch of other people trying to get the burning keys to finish up their weekly quest. So I'm just going to wait for somebody to come over to the Forge Master and, you know, do the thing with the stuff, because I don't really care about doing the other like side objectives or whatever you want to call it. Target is Tab. There we go. Somebody death gripped it finally. I had to taunt it and then I could death grip it. Molten Slam coming through. I don't think we have to care about that, although we will get knocked up or to the side. He's already dead. Dang, there's so many people doing this, and people that are like decently geared, they're trying to get their extra champion pieces. And here comes my third key. I am freeloading big time today. Like, I'm just trying to get a bunch of gear for doing very little in these events. But I got my third key, which means I can go open up my chest, and that means I'm done with this part of the quest. Now we need the Researchers Under Fire, and that event starts in 15 minutes, so I have plenty of time to get there. There is a Explorer piece of gear that you get, and you get a chest that has, I mean, look at that. It's only for item level upgrade, but it has a much higher potential maximum, so I'm gonna do that. Oh, we got Draconically Epic from that. That's awesome. So I got a couple of nice little upgrades. Ooh, I need to... No, we can't. I mean, come on. I didn't even transmog the weapon. Jesus. I know I just made a bunch of noises that didn't make much sense, but what I'm, I guess, upset about is the fact that I did not transmog my weapons when I should have, or my shoulders right away, which is just, I must apologize. Truly, I'm sorry for this transgression. Oh wait, there's a quest to turn in over there. I guess I'll turn that in. I have plenty of time before I have to go do Researchers Under Fire. Here, have this head. It was a good chunk of gold too. I'm not going to complain about that. I only have 22,000. I haven't sent any gold to this character, really. I think I did send a little bit, but nothing too much. Actually, did I send? No, I don't think I did. I think I just made enough gold, which is cool. So now I have no more adventurer pieces. I really only care about about champion pieces, or veteran pieces that are 4 out of 8 quality, because you can get 4 out of 8 quality veteran pieces from the like world events or whatever. Like this suffused halberd was 4 out of 8, but these shoulders were 1 out of 8, so it's worth doing them unless you have all your gear at veteran 4 out of 8 or higher. And I do also still have this crafted ring, which has like, I can't upgrade it, so I should probably look to get that upgraded. So basically I'm still stuck doing all these weekly quests, but I don't mind. It's no biggie. While I wait for the Researchers Under Fire event to start, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and find a group for the Zakali Elders, because the Zakali Elders are currently the awakened ones. Are they? It doesn't look like they're awakened. It doesn't say so on the quest, at least. Oh well, we'll see when I go over there and kick their ass. Before I do anything though, I'm going to grab this Worthy Ally Loam Niffin quest, just because it has a chance of giving you like a bunch of gold, and by default it'll give you like 1.5k-ish gold, so it's worth doing for sure. I'm going to look for a group for this. That's a lot of people. There we go. We got invited into a smaller group. I'm going to fly over. We got to make sure we fly there quick because we're gonna get shot out of the sky if I don't do it quickly enough. All right, well, there's a bunch of people, so I'm gonna get this party started. We're supposed to keep the bosses separate, but I want to get credits, so I'm gonna try and keep them relatively close. All right, I think this is close enough for my purposes. Whee! I got knocked back, and there we go. We got, oh, a champion belt. Actually, this was totally worth it, and we got a piece of veteran gear from this, which I don't really care about. But I guess I got some gold, and I don't know what kind of crests those were, but I'm sure they'll come in handy. Cool. I'm gonna peace out from this group. Don't really need anything else from here. And there's about 6 minutes until the whatchamacallit, Researchers Under Fire starts, so we're gonna go ahead and do that. I'm gonna take a look under custom Researchers Under Fire. There's a group here, so I'm just gonna apply to that, and I think that'll do it. Yeah, plenty of people looking to do this, even some 500 item level people doing it, so it's pretty nice. Should be able to get my maximum reward for this, which will then give me a worthy ally Loam Niffin. The maximum reward actually only gives 1,000 rep, but if you have a character that is at renown 10 or higher, all your other characters that are not renown 10 get 100% bonus, or was it 50% bonus? Some kind of bonus rep, and I think it's at least 50% because you just one-shot the quest by doing this. You can also do the quest line in here, and you'll get items that give you like 2.5k rep when you use them, just like the Emerald Dream quest lines, and you can use that to complete the Worthy Ally Loam Niffin quest if you want. But since this is the Awakened event, we may as well do this. Get a piece of gear, maybe a better veteran piece. Oh, the mount rare is up. Let's go do the mount rare while we wait. I had Illidan yell at me. That's from one of my add-ons. Silver Dragon, I believe. You know what I'm excited about is shared renowns and shared rep between the Warbound characters, or rather between your characters when War Within comes out. That's going to be really nice. All right, let's see. Do we get the mount? We don't get the mount. Oh, we get a Whelpling Awakened crest thingy thing. Not particularly useful to me anymore, but hey, nice. Actually, it might be useful. I have a bunch of veteran gear that I should be upgrading. I have 2k flight stones, but I'm not upgrading anything. Maybe I should actually go spend some. I have another 3 minutes until the event starts, so I may as well go do that. Because I'm going to get more flight stones from doing these weekly quests and whatnot, so may as well spend some. I guess there's not many choices for me to spend it on. I'll go for the, whatchamacallit, the shoulder piece and the gloves. Well, I would if the vendor didn't, or rather the NPC didn't bug out every time. Oh wait, I only have 44. I need one more to get, come on, give me a break. Whatever, I'll upgrade it a little bit. I won't do any other upgrades until I spend my bullion though. That is a big pile of people. Holy crap. Oh, well, here we go with the Researchers Under Fire. I'm just gonna go straight away to this side group because the main group usually gets insta-gibbed because everyone flies to it because it's the first enemies anyone can hit. But it looks like all the sides are basically ready to get murdered very, very quickly. There's a lot of very, very keen people doing this. Otherwise, like I've seen other runs where people are just kind of lazy and they stand in the middle AFK. This is apparently not one of those. Although it wouldn't shock me if there were a few people doing that, because I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. I'm pretty lazy most of the time. Like if I don't need to do something to help my group or whatever, I probably won't do it, especially if I have something on the side going. Right now, I don't really have anything, so I'm just gonna participate in this, but usually I will just slack off. Unless I see like the group is struggling or something, but to be honest here, if the group was struggling, I don't think I could make a difference unless it was like a struggle of not being able to survive because they don't have a tank. Hey, there's my Whelpling Awakened Crest thing. I can actually go and do, whatchamacallit, upgrade my gloves to 4 out of 8 veteran. And we're basically done with this, so we just need to wait a little bit here. Hopefully these don't reset. These have a weird tendency of just randomly resetting on you. I don't know why they do that. Maybe that, yeah, see that happens, and I have no clue why. It's just, I wouldn't be able to tell you. Like I'm still stuck in combat, but they're trying to reset and run over to where they jumped from. I don't know why that happens. I couldn't, I am unable to tell you, but I'll let these guys deal with it. I'm gonna go over to the lieutenant, kick that fireball volley, use my grippy hands, slappy hands, whatever. I'm using the hands. Okay, she fell over. Can't we loot this? I thought I could loot this. Okay, well, I'll get whatever I got in the mail. Waiting for one more pile of mobs, and then it's, yep, here comes the last boss, or rather the last like lieutenant, whatever, captain, it doesn't matter. You kill this and then it's done. And there it is. Got a Whelpling's crest from that, and we're going to get our purple baggie. Give me the baggie. There we go. We got a 250 piece of gear, which is weird. I would expect to get something more than that, but we got a cache of embers, which gives us a veteran piece. Helmet, I don't really need that, but we got Drake's crests. Drake's crests are good because we get a lot of champion gear that we need to upgrade upgrade to 4 out of 8. Let's see here. Oh, right, and we get to turn in this quest as well, the Loam Niffin rep quest. Let's do that. Do we get the extra gold? We don't get the extra gold. That's unfortunate. Although I think it is time for some upgrades. Maybe I shouldn't waste any crests or anything until I do my raid run. I think I don't really want to do a full normal run, not today at least, because I want to do a dungeon as well. If I do a full raid run, a normal run, I'm not going to have enough time to do a dungeon. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just queue up for LFR and try and get the antique bronze bullion. So let's go over to the raid finder and we're going to go look for, I don't know, which one of these. I'll just queue up for all of it and see which one I get. I guess it doesn't matter too much, right? Oh, we got a queue pop for Discarded Works, which is I think the first 3 bosses. Oh, I apparently participated in this event. I did no such thing, but I'll take the loot. All right, now for raid, you should probably not run Grippy Hands and you should run Soul Reaper, but I also don't give a shit, so there's that. It makes a small difference to your DPS. Well, maybe not a small difference. It could be significant, but I just genuinely don't care. I'm gonna hit this guy in the back because until he's dead, nobody really... The trash pull doesn't really stop until he's dead, so I'm gonna pull absolutely everything. Make sure they stand in my D&D. Use some anti-magic shell. I don't think that I can really go down in this fight unless I really mess up. The Iron Guard, we're gonna grip that. The Scale Guards do that big dome thing. You should interrupt that with a CC because it reduces the damage taken by anything that's inside the dome. I can death grip them and that interrupts it. Any sort of stun will do as well. Now there's no need to fight all of these mobs. You could probably even wipe that. Maybe not on, whatchamacallit, on LFR. But there's no reason to fight these because, well, the other tank doesn't seem to know or care. Once a bit of RP goes on in the background, Kazara will land and all of these mobs will die. So there's really no reason to fight this. I'm just going to stand over here and mind my own business. Here comes Kazara and there go the mobs. Tanking Kazara is basically a joke. There's one thing you need to do as the tank. After Terror Claw, you taunt and you hold aggro until you get Terror Clawed, and then, you know, the other person takes an aggro. So they get Terror Claw. You swap on Terror Claw, basically. That's it. That's your job as the tank here. There's really nothing else for you to do. If you notice, for instance, that people are dropping a lot of crap near the boss, you could move the boss just so people don't have to stand in crap to DPS. But for the most part, people are smart enough to move away with the circles, so you don't have that issue. Terror Claw coming out, now I taunt, and we keep going back and forth like that, me and the other tank. There's Terror Claw, the other tank should taunt. I'm gonna slow down on my DPS, otherwise I might rip aggro off the tank before Terror Claw goes off, because the yellow bar means that I'm close to ripping aggro. There's Terror Claw, now we're gonna taunt and beat the shit out of the boss. This should be, I think there's gonna be one more taunt swap. I'm gonna use Death's Advance. I'm tired of getting knocked back by those stupid wings. It's not like I'm going to use it on anything else here, really. The other tank is taunted. And there we go. Do I need any of this? Not really. I'm just going to greed roll on it. I don't really need any of that. The tank trinket I might have rolled on, but don't really need it. Didn't get a bullion, so we're going to keep going. I think we go left. We do the, what are those guys called? Well, the 2 elementals basically that show up. People are saying they're not ready. I guess they died or they just joined, so they're running back. Okay, we'll wait for them. Hopefully the other tank agrees and doesn't pull before they're ready. Well, the other tank doesn't give a shit, so the druid that was not here is just not going to be part of the fight, I guess. That's kind of shit. I'm going to stack them up a little bit more so that people can cleave properly. I don't even have grippy hands yet, so this is kind of annoying. There's grippy hands. Now we use grippy hands. Ideally, you bring these guys down at the same sort of pace, so we should kind of switch to the purple one, because once one of them reaches 50% like the orange one is about to, well, they stop taking all that much damage. So you want to even it out because their health pools combine when they merge into the big guy, and you have less of the big guy to fight if you just bring them down evenly. But obviously for Alphar it doesn't really matter. I don't have a taunt. I failed to taunt that, so my friend the druid had to eat shit. Huh. Or is it bugged? Because I just saw him fail to taunt too. The druid's been good so far about taunting things that need to be taunted. Oh, we ran out of that. Bullshit. Okay, I guess the druid's now dragging it back in the other direction. Okay, I taunted it now. So that's what you're supposed to do. One tank gets hit by the withering thing, and then the other tank taunts before the cone attack goes off. That's how the taunt swap works on this boss. I just failed it the first time, and then the druid, I think, tried to do it, but it didn't work. I'm not sure. Boss should be dead soon, so it doesn't really matter. As long as people stop. Look at this. 2 people just kind of standing there, chilling, not really giving a shit. I guess the boss is dead, so it doesn't matter. Still no bullion. This ring looks kind of nice. Haste with a bunch of mastery. I'll take that. Well, I'll try to take it. These are veteran shoulders. I already have upgraded veteran shoulders, so I'm just going to transmog roll on it. I hate this trash. People that have watched back in season 2 know that I hate this trash. I hate it so much, but at least as a tank, I don't have to run away. I kind of have to stand here and tank them, so I have an excuse for standing there like a douche. Everyone is ready. We're going to do pull 10. Boss should be active by that point. So the trick with tanking this boss is basically you're supposed to use, you're supposed to swap at about 5 or so stacks. It doesn't really matter how many stacks you swap. I'm about to get hit here, so I'm going to clear my stacks with the tank. He ran into me to do so. Running charges coming through, which means people will get charged. Others should get out of the way, otherwise they get stacks of a bleed. So I don't know why they ran away so far, but we're going to drag it back over here. But yeah, once you get the debuff from the boss, from getting auto attacked by the boss, you are meant to run into, or the other tank is supposed to get some stacks of that debuff as well, and then you run into them and that clears the debuff. Now here I'm going to spam taunt at this boss so that I get the, I know, dude, I know what I'm supposed to do. You don't need to run on top of me like that. It's cool. But yes, that's basically the whole thing. It gets a lot more hectic on higher difficulties, but on LFR, that's the only thing you need to do to make sure that you survive as a tank, is wait for the other tank to taunt swap and then clear your debuff on them. You should also watch out, every time you clear the debuff, the whole raid gets this infused explosion debuff. So you don't want to do it, do the clear with your tank buddy unless you're this debuff has gone off the raid group. So the raid group does not have that debuff. Like right now, I'm going to taunt. I'm going to get hit by the next melee attack by the boss. And then I'm going to run into my tank who is marked over here. I'm pretty sure that they got marked by themselves and I also got marked, so that we can more easily find each other in this, you know, cluster cluck. Now the last boss comes out from over there. He does breaths across the room. All of the bosses have the same thing. We don't need to run to that spot. Why are we running there? There's no reason to run into the corner of the room. Maybe it sort of helps a little bit, but it's nothing particularly helpful. I guess it might help manage the orbs, but it's really not a big deal. The orb that I'm talking about is, you see this little orb back here. Did you see that? It literally just went through me. Like, I ran into that orb and it just went through me. Everyone's running over to the boss while he does deep breath, and you can see that on the health bars over here. And everyone is running into the center again because it's very complicated, right? The boss is using an ability called deep breath. I wonder what that might do. But yes, the orb thing, you're supposed to bump into it. Oh, there's my bullion. Nice. You're supposed to bump into it and then move on, but like it'll bounce it back. I'm gonna leave Q. I don't want to do any of the other ones. I got my bullion. That's what I came for. But yeah, the orb, I keep trying to explain it and then I get distracted by something happening on my screen. The orb, you bump into it, like you walk into the circle of the orb, and then it bounces back away from the boss. If it reaches the boss, it gives him a big absorb shield, so you're trying to prevent that from happening. All right, now we can go turn in the weekly quest. That'll give us a champion piece of loot, and hopefully that'll give us an upgrade and not something we already have at champion or hero. Come on, cash, give me something good. We got a... Are you kidding me? Like, this game is trying to dissuade me from getting the weapon, right? Like, it's giving me... first it gave me a veteran weapon, a 4 out of 8 veteran weapon from the, like, just from doing that time rift thing. Now it gives me a champion weapon from the reward. It's really just telling me get something else with your bullion. Maybe I should replace the trinket then. Like, get a... Screw this. I had enough thinking. Thinking hurts my brain. I don't like to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and just buy Ashkandur and call it a day. I know. It's not the best thing to do short term, but long term, I want this weapon. So I'm just going to get it right now. There we go. We have Ashkandur and I am done. It doesn't exactly match the transmog that I have going on right now. So I think I might just switch my transmog up a bit. Let me do that. And then I think it's time for an M+ dungeon. Ready, we have a set that actually matches Ashkandur, and our bird matches Ashkandur, and I changed my hair to match Ashkandur, and now we're going to upgrade it as much as humanly possible with the resources that we have, which means we get to upgrade it all the way to 8 out of 12, which is a huge upgrade. That was 1,000 flight stones right there, and it is now 515 item level. So we are now at 497 item level, which is juicy. Which also means I think that we need to transmog the weapon again back to its original. I guess it's more red now, so maybe I could just switch the sets. Hold on. Transmog is important, okay? Yeah, we're just gonna switch the sets. There we go. We are now ready for combat. Ashkandur in hand, we go and we zug zug. Well then, I have a Ruby life pools. I'm going to be completely honest with you and say I really don't feel like doing Ruby life pools, so we're gonna look for some other kind of dungeon to do. We haven't done a single dungeon in this week yet, obviously, so we're gonna go and do Brackenhide Hollow. I think I want to do Brackenhide Hollow. Yeah, let's do Brackenhide Hollow. So Brack 4 to 5. See if we can do a 5. Why not? I don't even know what affixes there are this week, to be honest with you. We'll find out when we go in there, I guess. Or maybe not, because I just got invited to a ++4, or a 4++ is what it said. So I'm assuming it's a 4 that they want to 2-star. Before we start with this dungeon, what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to go switch my profile over to not the default, but the offensives. I want to be able to see when people have their offensive cooldowns available so I can pull big. I also have to go and use the Death Gate and enchant my weapon. So I'm going to let the group know that I'm doing that, because I forgot that I have to go do that as a Death Knight. Fallen Crusader, there we go. Now I have to wait for my Death Gate for 30 seconds. Not great. Death Gate back, and here we are. We're going to use some consumables for this run. It's been a while since I've done a fortified Brackenhide, but I trust it's nothing too complicated for me to do. I just need to chill with the pulls. The pulls are even more dangerous now, so I gotta treat them that way. Grippy hands before we get started so that I get my free, basically, bone shield charges, so I don't have to build bone shield charges as I'm running into combat. We're gonna go big, probably gonna bloodlust here at the start. Hopefully the group knows that. I didn't actually say that we were going to do so. Dancing rune weapon down there, blood boil. We're gonna use a defensive. The other guy probably shouldn't have done that. And we're gonna grippy hands again, and we're gonna build up some runic power and try to survive. Okay, we're gonna taunt that. I'm gonna tombstone, make sure I have aggro. Really gotta make sure I keep my death strikes rolling here, because otherwise I might go down, and that's never a good thing when the tank goes down. We're gonna kick this, trying to get into this HP share. Big old pull. We do have bloodlust rolling. Just so long as I stand in my D&D, I'll be able to do a shit ton of runic power gathering, because I hit more targets, and for every target extra that I hit, you're not gonna pull your friends into this. Nope. Not today. For every extra target I hit, I get more runic power. Okay, this worked out. It was a big pull. 2 people did go down. No, 1 person only went down. I think it was actually the DK that ran in. Somebody ran in and started hitting a group of mobs down next to the totem, which was unnecessary. Like, just chill and wait. Is somebody grabbing the cage? Yeah, somebody's grabbing the cage. Okay, good. The hunter is over here. We're going to run in. We're going to kick this to make it group up, and we're going to use just vampiric blood to make sure we survive. Sweet baby Jesus. Somebody needed to kick that. People do, like, all the kicks are on cooldown or off cooldown, and nobody's kicking the Withering Burst. This is going to be a rough run if people are not going to kick anything. Hideous Cackle coming through, so I'm going to kick that. That is even higher priority than the Withering Burst. Withering Burst you can survive. If you get feared with everything beating the crap out of you, you're probably not going to survive. Use my Dancing Rune weapon there. Would really love it if somebody kicked this, but my kick is on cooldown and you can't CC that target, so a little bit rough. But we got through it. That's all that matters, because it's a +4. On a higher key, these guys would be dead, like really dead. Like super duper dead, because Withering Burst would just one-shot someone. But luckily it's not a higher key, so we're just going to go ahead and not care about it. These guys are easy percent. I'm going to run into them, use my vampiric blood, and just keep running, and then we'll stop at this group. Why do I stop at this group? Because this group is a bunch of ranged and casters. So there's the hunter, which is ranged, and then there's the whatchamacallits, the mystic, which is also a caster. We're going to use Blinding Sleet here to prevent a bunch of these claw fighters from doing their thing. I don't have a kick for this. Okay, the shaman at least knows that they need to kick the fear, because they're not kicking anything else, so, you know, I'm a little bit worried here. That's the worst of this pull over. I still don't know what the actual affixes are for this week, because this was, I thought I would get into a 5, but I got into a 4 before I could get into a 5, so I just went with it. Do we have big cooldowns? We have Adrenaline Rush from the Rogue, we have Void Torrent. We're gonna go for a nice big old double pull here. We're going to taunt this, drop a D&D, we're going to kick this guy. Blood Boil, make sure I Purgatory procced, because people are ripping aggro off me while I'm trying to gather. Should have just used something. I'm not even sure what I could use to survive that. Maybe that gathering is just a little bit too shitty. I guess I could have popped Lichborn as well. That does reduce my damage thanks to the talent that I have. Withering Burst should be interrupted. People keep ignoring that Withering Burst. I would type out to them to do so, but that would force me to die, because I can't. I have to keep spamming Death Strike, otherwise I'll fall over. Feeling comfortable now. There's only one more mob that does the Withering Burst, so, and we might not even pull that group, so it doesn't really matter too much anymore. Just gonna head to the next group. They are kind of easy percent. I'm just gonna wait for that to open. I want to pull these guys as well. Actually, I can grip this Mystic. These will group up to me. I'm gonna kick this guy, and that'll group everything up. There we go. Okay, nice. Using Vampiric Blood a bit more liberally nowadays. When I started off playing, like the first few videos, I really rarely used it, but now I just like reflex hit it every time I start a pull in case I have it. Maybe I should make a habit of using Icebound Fortitude as well, but most of the time I'm pretty decently safe. Like I'm able to survive without having to pop the actual cooldowns, so maybe that's a bad habit to have. Maybe I should just keep rolling them to make it even easier to survive, but I don't know. Maybe I just keep them as oh shit buttons a bit too much. We're gonna grip this guy because I really don't want him to reach his friends over there. Okay, nice. Not bad. That's 5 Tuskar freed. We can do the first boss. First boss should be easy mode, to be honest, because it's fortified. We just have to look for Gashtu if we're going to put Trick Totem on focus. I'm going to drop this. Vampiric Blood again on pull. Use grippy hands or slappy hands or whatever kind of hands you want to call them. Gash Frenzy is going off, so he's not standing on top of me. So I'm just going to switch over to the other dude. Marked for Death is going off on our DK friend. I don't know if he's using any kind of defensive because I can't tell. The DK has Spinny Spin Beyblade on him, so we can't actually do anything. We have to move away the mobs. My phone is ringing. That's my mom calling me again. She actually called me yesterday during the stream and I forgot to call her back. This is going to be a disaster if I forget to call her back again. Danny, can you remind me to call my mom back? Thank you. Alright, now we need to stand in this this charge here. I'm going to actually use the defensive. Maybe I went a bit overkill on the defensives, to be honest with you, but no big deal. I also cast my defensives much sooner than I really needed to. Like I really didn't need to start casting it. I didn't need to use my defensives that early into the cast. The cast is very long. Mark for Death going through on the rogue. The rogue better use some kind of defensive or not, I guess. It's kind of just taking it without a problem. Maybe that's because they use the defensive. I don't know. Blade Storm is on me. I'm gonna have to move a little bit. Poor DK keeps getting his ass whooped by the Blade Storm. He's perpetually low HP. He's like the opposite of a Blood DK. Okay, cool. Well, we're headed into the right side of the dungeon. I can do a decently sized pull here. I gotta be careful not to overdo it. I have a very bad tendency in this dungeon specifically. I have a very bad tendency of doing oversized pulls, and there's no need for me to do so right now. So we're just gonna chill here with this pull that I have right here. Blood Boil, make sure these guys attack me and not anybody else. We're going to use Grippy Hands too. Screw it. Blinding Sleet from the DK came out. I can use my own if need be. I'm going to kick that bursting thing. Necrotic Breath is coming through. Now it has an actual frontal to get out of, so that's good. It didn't used to have that. Or it was extremely faint because I never noticed it, but it didn't used to have that. We don't have any disease dispels, it seems, because the priest is not disease dispelling. I got rooted inside of the stomp, so I used my Icebound Fortitude. Well, I tried to use my Icebound Fortitude, obviously, but that didn't work because it was on cooldown. I'm still flustered about the mom phone call. She's going to be upset with me if I don't call her back. Have an extra affix, mom. Actually, the mom is not the affix. It's the stress about the phone call forgetting. I don't know. This guy is just not dying on Fortified. I think I needed to like drag him into the next group if I want to do this in the future. Okay, we have a Fetid Rot Slinger. One is over there. These little guys. Use this for the extra parry, and we are good. We're going to try and hit that in the background. Tombstone for big extra HP and big dam, and now we just kind of chill and Death Strike our way to full HP over and over again. Now the patrol is not really working in our favor. There's a Fetid Rod Slinger here that I really wanted to pull. I'm going to pull him right now by doing this. I really wanted to fight him with the rest of this group, but he was patrolling away from us right as the pull started. If I had pulled him when I saw him, I would have pulled this group on the side as well, and that would have been kind of a pain in the ass. Although now that I look at it, maybe it would not have been so bad because I thought there was another Rot Singer there, but there is no Rot Singer. There's just two Shapers and a big old blob, so it doesn't matter too much. Explosions coming through. That's going to force me to get out of my D&D. I don't like that, but I've got to deal with it. Ooh, the DK didn't get out of that at all. We're going to stop here and wait. They could run back because you can mount. Yeah, okay, they chose to run back. We're going to wait because the shaman is at 15% mana, so we're just going to chill for a little bit. It would help if the rogue wasn't standing in basically lava. Oh, they figured it out. Good job. We're waiting for the guy to finish his drink, and then we can keep pulling. Just telling the priest to take the Purified Disease talent for future Brackenhide runs. Hopefully they do. They'll help their group out a lot if they use it. All right, we're starting a pull. I'm going to put the Shaper into the pull. Use Grippy Hands. Need the runic power Another D&D down. Okay, here's the Rot Singer. We want to pull that as well. I'm going to target the Rot Singer because I want to make sure I interrupt them. Use Bloodlust as a big pull. Good call by the Shaman. He saw that we have Bloodlust available. We may as well use it. I've switched from the Rot Singer to the Totem. I want to kill the Totem because the Rot Singer has a lot more HP than the Totem. If we remove the Totem, we remove a big source of damage because the diseases might time out before they're reapplied by the Totem. There's no more stacks of the disease. They changed it. It used to be that the disease stacked. Now they changed it to it just gets reset by the Totem. So you want to kill the Totem ASAP. Ideally before it even gets one off, but that's extremely hard to do because it is pretty chunky. Okay, that was a really good high value Bloodlust. I really like the thinking of the Shaman. I can respect that. I'm going to keep running here. Hopefully the group keeps going with me. We're going to stand here, group these two Shapers. I'm going to Blood Boil, make sure I grab aggro off of these. The other DK has a lot of stacks of a bleed on him. He has 4 stacks. He should use some kind of defensive or Death Grip Death Strike. I keep saying Death Grip instead of Death Strike like an idiot. This bull is rather boring. There's not much to really do other than move out of the swirlies. I thought I was out of that, to be honest with you, but I guess I'm just gonna get stunned. Ooh, I almost went down there, honestly. I'm glad I managed to get that Death Strike out. If I didn't have the runic power ready for the Death Strike, that could have been the end of me right there. I'm gonna hold my grippy hands. Come over here. I'm going to hold my grippy hands for the boss fight just because of all the other cooldowns that are linked into it or macroed into it. So it's a lot of extra DPS and I don't need the DPS on these guys. I'm just going to rather use it on the boss. Make sure I taunt these guys off and rip them off of the ranged that ripped aggro off of me because these little slimes just spawned in, so I didn't have aggro on them. The little lashers will despawn, but I'll blood boil him just to get him. Shaman is at 48% mana. That's plenty. This boss doesn't do much. I'm going to get Wine Whipped. I'm going to use a Death's Advance so I don't get knocked back because the DK just uses D&D. I want to keep it in the D&D for him. He's Frost, so I guess it doesn't matter too much from my understanding unless it's AoE. And this is where I'm going to use Grippy Hands because these are going to get gripped and CC'd and all that. We're going to use Blinding Sleet to interrupt those. I'm going to get eaten by it, and then somebody else should get eaten by it the next time around. Okay, never mind. I didn't get eaten by it somehow. That's interesting. I did get knocked back by the, whatchamacallit, the whip, because I didn't have a charge of Death's Advance to use. I think there's another whip coming through. I'll use a Death's Advance on it so that I don't have to do anything like reposition, because the DK did just drop another D&D on himself. I'm going to drop a D&D on top of these guys. I have no way to really interrupt them. I can grip them. They got stunned by the Shaman. I'm going to get knocked here because I don't have a way to prevent it. I'm going to move a whole bunch, which is probably annoying for the DK, but I have to move because otherwise the DK might have to stand in the crap. I can take this one as well, but especially because it's fortified. So I'm going to use Vampiric Embrace and just stack up a whole bunch of, extra HP. I have Blinding Sleet available again. I also have Death's Advance. I'm going to use Blinding Sleet to interrupt these guys. And there we go. Boss is dead. Somebody made a comment about interesting choice to tank Stink Breath on the bridge. It's not really that scary, to be honest with you. I'm just going to go ahead and pull these stealth mobs, though, just so we don't have to worry about them being pulled. They're not that scary, to be honest. The poison does do a bit of damage, but there's basically no other damage going through. Stink Breath does no longer tracks your position with his breath, so you can actually stand close to him and move around him when he casts it. See, like the rogue just did. The rogue got targeted by Stink Breath but moved out of it, which is a nice change. It used to be that he just tracked you so you could like drag that onto your friends and get someone killed by accident or on purpose. By accident, then it's tragic. If it's on purpose, then it's funny, right? Unless your friend is having a really bad day. And if they weren't, then, well, after that, they might be having a bad day, that is. All right, now we go and hug to the right. Percent-wise, we're looking pretty good. 87.55% is decent. I grabbed some extra packs. We are able to actually skip this pack, I believe. We can make up anything else that we need in the last boss room. I'm just going to keep an eye on this in case the vultures come through or we pull this by accident. We didn't seem to pull it, but the vultures that get pulled, we're going to grab the vultures and we're going to take those into the final boss. I'm just gonna go, not the final boss. I wish it was the final boss, but no, we're gonna take those. They're getting stunned on the bridge. Can I grip that? Yes, I can. I want people to see that I'm going into the boss. So here we go. D&D on the boss. grippy hands that'll get everything over to me, including that vulture. There we go. Perfect. Everything's nice and grouped up. Screech needs to get interrupted. I believe it's an AoE interrupt. Gut shot coming through, which means I'm going to use, well, I would like to use a charge of Death's Advance, but I didn't have one available, unfortunately. The extra hyenas are dead, so meat toss doesn't do anything. Traps are coming down. Traps are actually in a really good position for everything. I have Death's Advance, so I can negate this knockback. It is still a tank buster, so look out for that. I'm going to try and slow these hyenas. Okay, well, that was kind of unnecessary. Meat toss coming through. The hyenas got stunned. This guy needs to run away if he would like to survive. Okay, gut shot coming through. I don't have a way to stop this one, but I positioned myself so I don't get knocked back into a trap. We interrupt this. People are switching over to the hyenas. This is not, I guess that's good. It's not a bad call. We can do that. Meat toss coming through again, but there's no hyenas. Call hyenas coming through. They're coming from the bridge again, or not the bridge, sorry, the cave. We need to blood boil them to get aggro. Gut shot coming through, which means I use Death's Advance to not let it knock me back. Reset my bone shield charges. Drop a D&D on some corpses. Cool, let's go. I wasted that D&D, but it's not a big deal. We're going to blood boil and kick this. I'm going to get ready to death grip it once it starts casting its uninterruptible cast. There it is. Oh, it got knocked by the shaman. Good move by the chamois. I like that. I have a D&D here. I have another blood boil ready for when all these mobs will group up, and now we can start death striking. Very nice. Corrupt that death decay or whatever. Decay surge, that's what it's called. And very high keys, you have to kick those as well, otherwise you kind of just let someone get one shot. It's ridiculous to me that people are able to do keys that are that high. Somebody accidentally pulled the rod hexer. No big deal. Kind of annoying because the circle, we have no way to dispel the thingy thing, this circle, so we're just gonna have to wait it out every time. The War Scourge is coming as well. I may as well pull the War Scourge because it's going to patrol into where we want to go. I'm going to use my Dancing Rune weapon to just deal with that. Shaman's going kind of low from the decay reclamation or whatever the heck it is. That basically removes this Withering Contagion disease to buff the caster, and it does a shit ton of damage to whoever has that. So if you spread it out across your room or across your group, you could have a huge damage event go off, so you got to be careful. Anyone who walks into that circle, it's gone now, but I'm pointing at that person because they had it last. If anyone gets into that circle, it's spread to them, so you got to be very careful to spread out. If you have a melee heavy group, it can be a real pain in the ass. Okay, 95.99%. We're doing really, really well under percent. In fact, we can actually skip some shit, so that's what I'm going to try and do. I'm going to pull this Rot Hexer because this Rot Hexer is actually a patrol that gets very, very close to the boss and can be potentially disastrous. We're going to pull this Scourge guy, War Scourge, because he patrols into us if we don't, so I'm just going to go ahead and do that right off the bat. Anything I need to particularly look out for here? Not really. I'm going to save my D&D or my grip for this Rotting Surge thing. That way I don't have to dodge any swirlies on the ground if I just interrupt it. The mob just died as I did that, so it wasn't that big of a gain, but no big deal. And this should be percent for us. We just kind of spread that out. Real cool. Wait. Don't release. Use reincarn or distress. Nice. Okay, that worked out. Somebody spread the disease to somebody else who was running forward, didn't realize they had the disease on themselves, and then that spread it to everyone, and we all just kind of died. So, yeah. It worked out in the end, though, because we can just mass res right here. We don't have to run all the way back. The shaman ran into people. That's okay. No big deal. Now, something I should be careful for here is we might pull this group if somebody gets really close. Like if the totem drops over here and people get close to the totem to DPS it, we might actually, we might pull this group. So we just got to be careful about that. I'll try and not position the totem over here, but I oftentimes can't really help it. All right, shaman is filling up on mana, and here we go. We have Bloodlust available. Okay, Lust is being used. Very nice. Choking Rot Breath or Rot Cloud or whatever the heck. We're gonna move out of that because reasons. I'm not too scared of this boss. The only real thing you need to do as a tank is make sure you don't stand in that frontal that it does, and position it in such a way that when it throws the totem across the room, this cloud doesn't go on top of it, so that your melee DPS can actually keep doing their melee DPS. There we go. There's the Rot Burst totem. You see, whenever the Rot Burst totem is cast, it's always across the room from where the boss is. So yeah, something to keep in mind. I'm gonna stand here in the corner and wait for that choking rot, blah blah. We're gonna run across the room and wait for the totem cast. The K-Strike coming through. We're gonna wait for it to go through before I Death Strike so I can remove that heal absorb. There's the totem. A lot of running back and forth on this boss, but This is the safest way to position it that I've found, so I'm gonna do a little bit more rotating around the room. Probably annoying for the DK with his thingy thing with his D&D, but I don't like I said, I don't think it's a huge part of his DPS as a Frost DK in single target. I know that he needs it for AoE DPS, but we really need to kill this totem, guys. Come on now. Okay, there we go. Because you can get, basically if the totem manages to cast, you get a group-wide dot that does a lot of damage, and you don't want that to happen, right? Simple as that. Big dam, sometimes unhealable dam. But there we go, a ++4 fortified Brackenhide hollow. I'm stuck inside the box and I can't open it, I can't move, I can't do anything. That's kind of annoying, but here we go. No loot for us, unfortunate. I have a ruby life pools. I'm just gonna reroll that. Hopefully I don't get Brackenhide. I got Neltherus, I'm cool with Neltherus. Okay, they apparently do need the loot. Thank you for the run. We're gonna peace out. It was a good group, great damage. I'm surprised by my own damage at 180k. The rest of the group was slightly above me. I don't know if I'm doing a lot of damage or they're not doing all that much damage, but Shattering Bone, of course, doing the vast majority of my damage. That's just from standing in D&D and getting hit in the face. Overall, Ashkandur actually did 4% of my damage, so I'm quite happy that I got it. You could say potentially that the Augury of Primal Flame might do as much damage, if not more, but we'll see once I get it, because I will get it probably next week. Now I need to make a WeakAuras that's actually going to let me use this, because I don't actually have that. I have it bound here to whatchamacallit, to Alt F, but I don't actually use this. I completely forgot that I got this trinket while I was streaming. Oh well. Speaking of which, I'll be streaming every now and again. If you follow the stream, you'll get a notification, or if you go and check out the Discord, there's also a notification that goes out over there whenever I stream. So yeah, check it out. I'll probably mostly be doing this streaming thing on Tuesdays to like round out the week before the Wednesday reset, but I might stream other days and just do stuff other than the blood DK. I don't know, we'll see. I'm just kind of doing it for fun. I'm not really trying to build a big stream or anything, but I know that people like to get more content, so I may as well do that through the stream. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this episode. If you enjoyed it, drop a like, let me know what you liked about it in a comment. If you had fun, make sure you subscribe, because there's more episodes coming. And if you're feeling particularly generous, you can become a channel member. Channel members have guaranteed replies to their comments, and they get nice little shout outs like Jason got today. But as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.